Alright, hey guys, it's Mudkip Army here, and today I'm going to do a quick deck profile about my Flame Tiger deck, and do a little bit of the explanations of why I'm running these cards, or why I've chosen them for this particular deck. So, yeah, here we go. Of course, starting off we got 3 Flame Tigers, who's pretty much the key player in this deck, and of course, you know about the ability to revive himself every turn, essentially if necessary, and he's also, if that doesn't happen, he's also an 1800 level 4 beater, so I don't know, just good card all around, and I like to run 3 of them. Next up we got Chain Dog, and I of course run 3 of him as well. So I don't know, he's more useful than Flame Tiger in my opinion, but he just has slightly less attack, but that hardly matters at all, because his sole purpose is to die so he can go into the graveyard so I can bring him back. So ideally, I would just use all my powers to dump him as quick as possible. That way I can kind of invest, so later in the game I can, bring out Flame Tiger, summon, and then bring Chain Dog out, and then go for an instant Xyz. So yeah, every version of this deck I always run 3 of Chain Dog. He's also completely necessary. And next up we got 3 Scrap Chimera. Good card. Not all that great by himself. He's only 1700, level 4 beast, and he can't be used for a synchro monster except for a scrap is kind of limiting, but he makes up for it with his 1-card synchro play with Scrap Beast here, who I of course run 3 of as well. I run a lot of playsets for cards in this deck. So yeah, just Scrap Chimera and Scrap Beast, 1-card synchro play, and yeah, it just works. This helps get Scrap Dragon out quick and efficient. Alright, next we got 2 King Tiger Wanghu. King Tiger Wanghu, he's pretty good in the meta currently. He ends up stopping a lot of quick first turn plays. He stops Tour Guide, he stops some of the wind up stuff, and I believe he stops some of the Geargia stuff. I don't know, I haven't played too many Geargias, so I'm not too sure how he fares against them, but I like to keep him in this deck. Next we got Ryko, Lightsworn Hunter. He's a pretty good card. Everyone knows what Puppy does, everyone knows why he's useful, but of course I like him primarily in this deck just for the milling, as I believe half my monsters belong in the grave. So yeah, that's pretty much his primary job in here, and the destruction effect is always great. And finally we got Flamvell Firedog. He's pretty good. He searches out Flame Tiger, gets into the grave real quick, and I like comboing him with Horn of the Phantom Beast. That way, not only do I get Flame Tiger out, I also get a free draw, and then I can go into an Xyz. So, just a good card, and yeah. I'm not really running Moja. He's just sort of a placeholder right here till I decide if I want to run a Flamvell Firedog, another one, or just do something else. But Moja's I know you're seeing Moja, but trust me, he's not in the series build of this deck. So yeah, now we're going to move on to the spells, so yeah. Alright, here we are getting the spells. We of course got, starting off, 2 Pots of Duality. It's just a good card, helps the deck become more consistent, and although I do special summon a lot, having a turn just to set up and prepare for more plays down the line isn't hurtful at all. So yeah, just 2 Pot of Duality, 1 charge of the Light Brigade. Of course he mills out my cards, which it's pretty good, and he also adds Ryko to my hand, so I can mill out more cards. So hopefully with some of those mills I can mill out my Scrap Beast, my Chain Dog, or my Flame Tiger. So, and next we have 2 Mystical Space Typhoon. Just good, hurts back row. We all know what MST does. We all know why it's good. Heavy Storm, Dark Hole, Foolish for all my graveyard shenanigans, Reborn, Book. I don't know, I'm considering dropping Book. Don't get me wrong, it's a good card, but there are some better options out there. So maybe in this deck I'll keep Book, but he's pretty good in there for now. And we have Upstart Goblin, who's just the placeholder till I get a Dark World Dealings on hand, because I currently lost mine. But yeah, so this will be a Dark World Dealings, and Dark World Dealings, he's pretty good. He helps me, so I get to choose what I want to send to the grave, and usually it helps me move faster. Say I have a Scrap Beast or a Chain Dog, I can, not only do I draw a card, but I also get to set up my grave for essentially for free. So yeah, good card. Dark World Dealings only loses a little bit whenever you have an unexpected Dark World matchup and you don't know it's Dark World yet, and that can lead to some pretty nasty stuff, so just be warned whenever you're trying to, if you have Dark World Dealings. Alright, next we got, here we got some of the traps next, so here we are at the traps. Starting off, we got 3 Horn of the Phantom Beast. Just crazy, amazing good card for this deck. This card has saved my butt in so many plays, so many matchups, where people think they have game, and then I just drop Horn of the Phantom Beast on them, and they're like, they just don't believe it. Especially considering that I run a playset of this, just the sheer fact that I sometimes draw onto 2 of these, which can just boost my monsters up enormously. Like, I recall one duel I did, I had Flamvell Firedog out, and had 2 of these, and of course when my opponent attacked into Flamvell Firedog, because they assumed that they had like the advantage, I activated both, destroyed their monster, got a monster out, then drew 2 cards, so I plussed pretty big off that play, just because of this card. And even just one of this card, it's still amazing. 800 attack is nothing to joke about, and the free draw, well, not really free, but the draw never hurts. So next we have the good old Solemn Brigade, which is 2 Solemn Warning and a Solemn Judgment. Just good cards. And next we have our 2 Compulsory Evacuation devices. So Compulse, I did custom artwork on these, but it's still the same old Compulse. I'm pretty much preferring this card nowadays over Mirror Force. Just the sheer fact that they can chain to pretty much anything if you're ever in danger, or if random Heavy Storm or MST, you can still be in a fair position after that, just because of this card. So I'm running this over Mirror Force currently. Next up, we got our 2 Torrential Tributes. Like I say, a lot of this stuff on monsters need to be in the graveyard, so it's kind of like a quick way to get them in the grave while still damaging your opponent at the same time by, say, summoning your monster and then taking out their monsters as well. So yeah, I run 2 of those just because, well, I can. I like this card. And next up we got a card that you may or may not have seen much, but I think it's a good card and it's amazing this deck, is Dimension Slice. And just in case you're unfamiliar with this card, I'm just going to read the effect real quick. It says, when a monster is special summoned to your side of the field, target one face-up monster your opponent controls, banish that target. If the summon is an Exceed summon, you can activate this card the turn it was set. So, pretty much, with Flame Tiger in the grave, I can use this to my advantage anytime, essentially. And especially since I Exceed a lot in this deck, I can pretty much set this if I feel I'm going for an Exceed, and then just banish any threat they have on the field. So, yeah, I may consider dropping Book and moving this to 2, but it all depends on how it's testing. And finally, we have Huge Revolution is over with custom artwork to summon all up and protect all the back row and my monsters. So yeah, now I'm going to move on to the extra deck. Finally, we have the extra deck. So the extra deck isn't really complete yet, but still I'll show you what I'm working with it, and so you can pretty much get an idea of what I'm planning to do with it. So starting off, we got 1 Scrap Dragon, who I will get multiple of, hopefully 2 or 3 of this, especially since it's super now, it's really cheap. It's just, I have to go down and get a couple more of him, but you play what you got. So I have 1 at the moment, but hopefully I'm going to end up running 2 or 3 of him, just because he's that good. And Stardust Dragon, Stardust, good card. I can summon him pretty frequently in this deck, so he's in there. I have 2 number 39s, just because I have 2. Yeah, we all know what Utopia does. Photon Pappy Operative, not Papilla Operative, Pappy Operative. And pretty much I run them in here just to get rid of some of the annoying flip, or not flip, just high defensive monsters that can really get on your nerves and stuff. I just like using this. I haven't really been going for them too much lately, but I just like keeping them here. Gem Knight Pearl, just cause I feel like running him. No effect, but 26 it's okay. Zenmeister. I don't know, like I said, I really need to update this extra deck, because I've kind of been away from buying packs and stuff for a couple months now. So I'm not really sure what the big name extra deck monsters are that I need, but I don't know. I think I've only gone from once in this, and it was just to get big off a Ryko play, but it worked, and it did give me a lot of mills and destruction. So yeah, he's just in here. Next we got C39. If I'm ever 1,000 or less attack and I'm in a pinch, I guess I would go for him. I kind of just run him because I was originally buying a common Utopia online, and they sent me this instead, so I was like, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And we got Maestro, the Symphony Djinn next. Probably one of my favorite cards on the extra deck right now. It's almost like a mini, what's it called, Zen Mains, just in its effect, and I don't know, just the ability to not only like change the position of your opponent's monsters, but also I also like bringing them out with Scrap Dragon at the same time, which is entirely possible, and then using this to pay the cost for Scrap Dragon. So kind of get a free Scrap Dragon effect, which is good. And I don't know, if I fear like my opponent has Torrential, Mirror Force, or Dark Hole that they're planning to drop, I usually go for him. It's a safe bet. Or her, I don't know what the artwork is. Next up we got Steel Swarm Roach. This was more in here for when Chaos Dragons were big. So I don't know if I'm still gonna run this guy, but he's just in here for now. And finally we got Vylon de Stigma. I really like this card. Just cool artwork, cool effect. It's pretty good, and 3 level 4s is actually pretty easy for me to get out, so it's not like it's too expensive, and I don't know, I just like it. Good effect. Alright, that sort of wraps up the video, so if you liked it and you like the deck, please give me a thumbs up, and if you like my content, just feel free to subscribe. I'm going to have a lot more of stuff like this, and also upcoming segments. I know I'm going to do more segments with this deck, and once I get it all together, I'll do the Turbo variant, and I'm probably going to delve into the Watts and the Thunder Archetype that just came out, so yeah, stay tuned for more. Alright, Mudkip Army signing out.